Listen, so with The Nun coming out, it's the perfect time to revisit one of the scariest franchises out there. And thanks to Skillshare, I went back and freaked myself out watching all of them just to bring you this recap. Because when you really think about it, they've kind of been treating The Nun like the Thanos of this universe. They hint her here and there. She's got some after credit scenes, and they're just waiting for her to get her own movie. So whether you see this as the Nun series, the Conjuring series, Annabelle, since that's what's on the DVD collection, or James Wan's greatest franchise, I'm gonna break down everything you need to know before you go see.
Hello.
Let me explain. So there's 5 movies in this universe so far, and this is the order that they were released in, but I'm gonna cover them in chronological order, and first off would be The Nun. I'll have a whole spoiler video for her, but just to get the gist of it, this is the first one that takes place in 1952 and uncovers the story of Valak, who appears as the nun after a murder that takes place in this nunnery, which actually stars Thaisa Farmiga. Which, if you haven't made the connection, there's another Farmiga in this universe who's also famous. So Wan's already hinted at a sequel for The Nun that could connect back to the Conjuring 2 and Lorraine's story. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of that fits in, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Next up would be Annabelle Creation, which is about Annabelle's creation. In 1943, we follow this dude who carves dolls for a living, and he's actually working on the Annabelle doll when they get stuck on the side of the road. Guy drops a bolt, his daughter is nuts enough to get it, and she dead. Parents try to contact the spirit to bring the daughter back, and they're so desperate they invite this entity they're speaking to come into the doll. It takes their daughter's name, Annabelle, and while they think they're seeing glimpses of their daughter, it ends up having this massive growth spurt that reveals that the demon just screwed them over. It takes out the mom's eye, and they end up having to R. Kelly the doll in the closet, which they cover up completely in Bible pages. I'm telling you, demons are trolls. 1995, years later, they end up opening their house as an orphanage because they feel bad for the things that they've done, and they only have one rule: don't open the daughter's locked room. They opened the daughter's locked room. It's interesting to see that the nun who's taking care of the orphans who they bring in, that she was actually in the same nunnery in the same year that the nun is set to take place, and the nun actually appears in that picture that she carries with her. Because she's so busy playing show and tell, they don't even pay attention to the little girl playing Marco Polio with the demon after she opens the door and unleashes it, and even gets treated like Wile E. Coyote. Annabelle throws up in her mouth, takes over her body so she can now walk, does some wizarding with the scarecrows, even turns this guy's fingers into those dumb minions from Spy Kids, but by the end of it, she's able to Shawshank her way out of this place. The police arrive, confiscate the Annabelle doll, which, mind you, is getting the easiest paychecks because she don't do anything, and we see the possessed Janice run away to another orphanage. She's changed her name to Annabelle, gets adopted, runs away again when she's older to join a devil cult, and recruits a boy toy to help her murder her parents for the ritual before the movie ends. After credits then shows the nun in 1952 doing a catwalk towards the camera, cause I'm telling you, she's Thanos. So Annabelle is easily the worst of the franchise in my opinion so far. It came out before Annabelle Creation, which luckily helped kind of fix it because it takes place in 1967 and it follows this pregnant couple who just moved into this house, and the husband surprises his wife by getting her a brand new porcelain doll for her collection of porcelain. Why would you encourage this? One day they wake up to hear the neighbors getting murdered, since that's what happened in the last movie. Obviously they haven't seen Annabelle Creation because it's not out yet for them, so they don't know that this killer girl is possessed and was in a cult. So when she sneaks up on them, they quickly call the cops, who arrive, but just after she pulls a Chucky and transfers the demon back into this doll. Poor doll just getting used. It is interesting to note that the real-life Annabelle doll was actually a possessed Raggedy Ann doll. That's where the name comes from. But obviously, in order to keep it scary for the franchise, they decided on this. Over the next few days, they decide to move into an apartment complex because weird things are still happening, and now they got a baby. Unbeknownst to them, they're just bringing the demon with them since the demon is Annabelle. The mom figures it out by researching the cult and realizes that the only way to stop it is by sacrificing herself. But then her neighbor comes in and is like, yo, I want to get out of this movie. It's dookie. Plus, I still feel bad for accidentally killing my daughter in a car crash, and sacrifices herself instead. They live happily ever after with their 29% rating. The doll ends up in an antique shop where a mom randomly buys it for her daughter who's in college trying to become a nurse. Why though? 1 year has passed since the Annabelle incident, and that college kid seeks help from the Warrens to take away this possessed doll. and also to help her mom pick better gifts. So this movie ends up being the one that kicks it all off, right? This was the first one that was released, and it tells the story, the real life story, of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Lorraine is a clairvoyant, meaning that she has spidey senses, but for ghosts, while Ed has a degree in demonology. So take that, Mom, liberal arts isn't the worst degree. They're these world-renowned demon hunters who even have an OJ-sized memorabilia collection of possessed items, which of course is right next door to their kitchen. But it's in 1971, years later, in Rhode Island, that we get this incident of a family who moves into a house that they bought from the bank, and they should have known right away when their dog didn't want to go in that something was up. Obviously, you'd leave it to the youngest to find this creepy possessed music box out in the front. You find a secret cellar in the basement that was blocked out. And if raising 5 daughters wasn't scary enough for the father, they also play this creepy clap game that's just asking for you to be scooped. That's why they run into the demon, the witch, and the wardrobe. After one pulls a Wes Anderson and kills the dog, the little girls get really spooked because they're getting haunted in their sleep.
Oh my God. It's standing right behind you.
Obviously, Ramona's getting haunted in their sleep. And these ghosts, like I said, are just trolling them. But I'm gonna say this right here. Certain people hear a piano playing and for whatever reason walk into a dark basement. Us cartoons will see a light flicker because the bulb is actually just done, and we'll book an Airbnb for a month.
Who's ever down there, I'm gonna lock you in now!
Ghost was like, bet. Demon hits her with the meme review, which causes them to get extremely spooked. So who they gonna call? Not them. They haven't formed yet. These two show up instead, and since Lorraine plays Luigi's Mansion on Expert, she right away senses the demon and tries to understand it. It turns out that a witch used to own this land back in the Crucible times, and since they were out together, she sacrificed her week-old son as a ritual before hanging herself. From then, everyone who moves into this place gets cursed and would end up killing themselves. That's why the mom ends up getting possessed by Bathsheba, because the pattern this witch has is to control mothers and force them to kill their own children as a sacrifice. That means that Ed's gotta pull a Michael Cera and pretend to know what he's doing, because he's about to pull off his first exorcism, which, again, I'm gonna have to say this, I'm sorry. I'll love my wife eternally, but I don't know if I could ever sleep in the same bed with her after this. I'll pick up her vomit, I'll wipe her booty when she gets too old, but this, I don't know. Of course they're able to stop the mom from killing her child. They hug it out like it's the day after the purge and nothing has happened, and everything's all fine and dandy until they conjure up something else. So it turns out the Warrens actually were involved with the Amityville case, which I'm sure many have seen, and the only reason they're not making a movie is because there's already been 666 of them, so they decided to just focus on it for the intro.
This is as close to hell as I ever want to get.
Girl, that's me at the DMV. Now, it was hinted in the first movie that Lorraine kind of carries things with her from every case that they do, and the one that keeps appearing now is the creepy nun. She repeatedly gets premonitions. Ed even sketches a doodle bob of her, and in one scene she attacks while everything is shaking. Bruh, unless I'm living in California, none of my crap should be shaking. They go to England since Felicity Jones Jr. is being possessed overseas. This little girl hangs out with middle schoolers who smoke a pack a day. She's making her own Ouija boards. She starts speaking like those kids on Musical.ly who pretend like they're acting.
You have to go away.
You're the one trespassing!
But again, like I've been saying, these demons are goofy. Like, they can levitate through stuff and instead do things like this. Even with the mom, who doesn't believe in them at all, right? Any other movie would have dragged it out so she's oblivious. No. They straight up have the mom questioning whether she should have taken that Ambien. And they're complete trolls because even when the cops show up, they don't care. They're seeking more attention than Hannah Baker. These demons acting worse than Boonk. But because there's so many weird things going on, and you can actually search this up because there's real footage of it, there's skeptics who interview them, which, you know, the girl does kind of sound like she's trying out for Christian Bale's Batman.
Well, perhaps Guy, perhaps you've got something to say to them.
Yeah. I'd like to know how you make this noise without bashing Janet's vocal cords to pieces. If I do it for half a minute, I get a sore throat.
Goose chases here.
But she could also be possessed. Yeah, I don't know how quickly smoking a pack a day hits you. While Professor Poopy Pants thinks the girl is faking it, he's able to conjure up a name, which is Bill Wilkins, the guy who previously lived in this house and died in that same couch, and that's why he's possessing it, which, bro, I'm telling you, the scariest parts in movies are when you don't even notice that there's people sitting there in the background. That always creeps me out the most. Even though he's supposed to be the main demon, we also get a look at the Crooked Man, who appears looking like a Tim Burton movie character. Homie looked like the caterpillar from James and the Giant Peach walking all stilted. Like, I get that he's making a cameo in this movie because they want to pitch the idea of yet another spinoff. But the dude ain't scary. How you gonna be scared of a ghoul with glasses? Man can transform and do all these creepy things, but he doesn't have 20/20 vision. The Warrens arrive just in time to be 2 weeks late, and Ed just has a casual conversation with this demon.
I come here to see my family. They're not here now.
That's because you're dead. If your family did live here, they're long gone now.
Man's yelling at this entity like a principal does a child, but it turns out that the big twist is that the nun who's been appearing to Lorraine is actually manipulating Bill Wilkins into manipulating the family, showing that even in the afterlife, you're gonna get used. Lorraine then realizes that all she has to do is say the demon's name, which was actually plastered all over the place throughout the movie as an Easter egg, and then she can banish it.
Say my name. You're goddamn right.
They take it down, the rest of them live happily ever after, until the girl dies in the exact same chair, and the Warrens add yet another creepy thing to their collection as they get ready for the third movie. And the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. Thank you guys for watching this video, and a big thanks to Skillshare. A lot of you always ask about how we make these videos, how did we learn to make them, and honestly, we've learned half of our video techniques and stuff and editing online, like 95% of it, through tutorials and templates, and we even took a course on Skillshare for After Effects for this video, so I will always recommend going to school, obviously. You know, less than $10 a month for full classes run by professionals to improve your skills, bro, that's like the best tuition you can ask for. There's over 17,000 courses, including editing ones for Premiere, cinematography, and for the first 500 people to sign up with the links below, you'll get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. You can create your own YouTube channel, you can create your own short film with these skills, you can finally learn how to cook as well, but like I said, the first 500 to sign up with the LME link will have access to it from mobile, online, offline, and it's honestly one of the best ways to learn. So check that out, and also let me know your thoughts on this franchise. Is there a better modern horror franchise out there? What are your theories for The Nun, future sequels? How many times did you change your pants watching it? One of the things that I actually like the most about this is I'm a big fan of the Annabelle 2 creator. Like, he's got a YouTube channel, you gotta go check it out. He had started off, like, he was 30 years old and he was still making short films with his wife he was posting on YouTube, and then producers saw it, it got picked up, it became this feature right here, which did really well. He then got picked to make Annabelle 2, which he clearly fixed and was a success. And now my man, who is still making YouTube videos at the age of 30, is now making one of the biggest DC movies that people are actually looking forward to. So it just shows you can learn things on your own, right? Warner Bros. Even had a short film contest not too long ago that was open for anyone to make a short film that would fit into the Conjuring mythology. And what won was this YouTube short called The Nurse. So it's like, you don't have to sell your soul to make it. You could just use Skillshare to share your skills. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this franchise. Don't forget to share, and share this video, or the nun will come after you.